Testing. Whoop. One, two, three. Oh, we're getting there. You can hear me now? All right. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for coming along. If you haven't taken a seat, please come in. There's lots in the front. There's some over here. We have some fantastic speakers with us today, but first I want to quickly thank our sponsors, Cayman Tech City and Digital Cayman, for making this all happen. And thank you to Kirk ISS for sponsoring the technical side of things. We're going to be live streaming on our YouTube channel for all of those individuals tuning in from overseas. So if everybody wants to wave at that camera over there, anyone that's tuning in, we'll see you. Awesome. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it over. If you could put your cell phones on silent, that would be awesome. And then I will let Bart take the stage. There you go, leading by example.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bart. Together with Neri, we joined this meeting through invite. We represent ProductTank Cayman Islands. So this is co-hosted event. We are a small group of professionals focused around building digital products, and we will share 2 case studies with you today. So before we start, a few words about what is ProductTank Cayman Islands. ProductTank is a biggest professional association focused around product management, connecting around 100,000 people all over the world in 150 cities. In 2019, Cayman chapter was started, so we are relatively fresh. Sure. So we are relatively fresh addition to the island. We meet on quarterly basis, and we try to rotate our meetings to make things more interesting. We communicate through meetup.com board, and of course membership is free. Currently the group is around 60 people and growing slowly. ProductTank is run by product people for product people, but open to anyone interested in building digital products. We do our best to keep meetings informal and friendly to create atmosphere where we can share successes and failures from our projects. The goal here is to deliver actionable knowledge coming from real projects that can be applied the next day by anyone. Today's evening will cover 2 presentations coming from Neri and myself. This was done by 2 Cayman companies and for Cayman customers, so it's relevant to boosting digital economy in Cayman Islands. We will run you through a journey of product discovery, lean startup, and smoke testing. Before we start, the call for speakers for the next event is open. If you are working or have worked on interesting project and you would like to share learnings from this project with local community, please come to me after the presentations and let's chat about your involvement in the next ProductTank Cayman Islands. With all of that said, Neri, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? All right. I will try to keep a good distance from this mic. All right. Yeah. All right. Let me go there. I actually want to start this presentation with this slide, which represents a lot for myself and for the company that we have today, the product that we created. And this pretty much represents how much the idea was worth at the time that we had the idea. Like, the idea worth nothing. Ideas, it doesn't bring any money. You just had the idea, and if you don't share with anyone, if you don't execute your idea, it's just an idea. This also represents how much money we want to spend testing this product. We don't want to. We were trying to not spend it a lot because it was kind of risky, and we were like, okay, let's try to not spend that much money. Also represents my account balance now. So this is me. My name is Nary. I'm software engineer at GoDaddy. Used to be Uniregistry, but then GoDaddy acquired us, and now we are GoDaddy. Woohoo! And I'm also co-founder of Bento. Have anyone ordered food from Bento here? Yes. Thank you. Tip our drivers. Anyway, ordering food in the Cayman Islands, it was, I changed this presentation a little bit because when we presented this in February or May, actually we were launching the app. So ordering food here in the island was painful and expensive as well. Like this was one of the main reasons why we started this project, because we were hungry and I was like, I need to order food, but the way that we had today in the past, it was so painful. It wasn't a pleasant experience. And sometimes I had to call like an animal, like call in the restaurant. I was like, no, this can't be. We are in 2020. I know we are a small island, but I mean, we deserve it, right? So this really hard formula explains that. Like, it was pain plus cost, and then we were like, okay, that's an opportunity for innovation. Let's try that out, right? But first, we want to validate the idea. We didn't want to spend a lot of money in something that we were like, maybe might not work, maybe work or not, I don't know. How can we validate this? Bart will also talk about this strategy in his presentation. So it will be also actually deeper on details on this. But anyway, what we did, that was last year, right? My partner is here as well. Last year, we didn't have the product ready yet, and we were like, okay, let's post a sponsored ad saying, introducing a new app to order food in the Cayman Islands, which actually didn't exist. And we have these numbers. We ran for like 3 or 4 days, and we have 16,000 people reached. We had over 1,000 clicking in the banner, in the sponsored ad. And they would land in this page. They would tap there. They would see the app, a screenshot of the app, and a download button, which would land here. They would need to leave their email, sign up, receive this email, and they need to click it on the verification to make sure their email was a real one. We had 200 people. Over those 1,000 people, we had 200 signing up. This painful process of leaving the email, clicking the link to verify your email, and then 200. These represent 17% conversion. That's great. Idea, we are here, we feel comfortable to go ahead with the idea, right? We validate it. It works. We have the audience. We have hungry people. All right. So now we're thinking, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, start your engines, because now we're going to do something nice. And we start investigating. What's there, right? We check it, the biggest players around, right? We have Uber Eats. We also have iFood in South America. And we had Fine Dining here in the island. They run business for quite a while. And Island Grub. We started analyzing what's their business plan, which technology they are using, All of these four players. What are their mistakes? How can we improve their operation? And I'm not talking about only the small ones, because they have more mistakes to fix and improvements to make. But even Uber Eats, they have a lot to fix, a lot. And since we were starting from the very ground up, every single line of code of Bento was written here in the island. We had this opportunity to try to make things right, or better, at least, right? From the code to the business model, to the way we run our operation, and this is important. We compare what is there, how can we improve, and that's how we started thinking more as an organization, not only a product, right? Cool. First thing, you need to create a brand, right? How do you create a brand? Please, hire a professional designer. Myself, I don't know how to draw like a straight line. I'm really bad on it. And you should be as well. Like, hire a professional designer. A professional designer not only is an artist for myself, like I see designers as an artist, like it's a piece of art. They are really important to this. They know colors, they know sizes, they know alignment. You, developer, you don't, all right? You don't. Hire, even if you are not a developer, if you are a business person, you're not a designer, hire one. It will bring you a lot of ideas, and it will put your idea starting to be something real, right? And it will give you a guide. This guide, we call a brand book as well, gives you the logo, like the font. We have this mascot, which is Benny Bag. And how can you apply your brand in different backgrounds, in different places, right? So that's why it's really important to hire a professional designer. So you don't need to think in the future, oh man, yeah, Wolf's Den, they want to put Bento's logo right in that wall. Okay, I can use the first one because it's white background, right? And also the color, so you don't get lost when you are trying different things. Oh, which color should we use this? Okay, let's check our brand book and use the same color. Here, all the allowed use case for your brand, and not allow it as well. Don't go crazy, right? Follow the guide. Fonts, iconography is really important as well. This is all the work that the designer will do for you, and then you can use as you go. Since we are from Uniregistry GoDaddy, save your domain name. You have the idea, you have the name. Check if the domain name is available before somebody else do that for you and charge you more. And execution, that's the part, really important part. Like, we can talk in here, we can say a lot of nice strategies and how to do this and that, but what actually matters is when we started making mistakes and we starting facing walls, that's the most important part, execution. And we realize, okay, we have to build 4 apps in the back end. All right. We have 1 developer, and we have 1 civil engineer. Okay, let's make this work. Anyway, we made it. I don't want to make this talk too tacky, but the first commit, the first code that we pushed out was in September last year. And then we launched this at the beginning because dealing with money, it's more, it's tricky, right? It's money. It's not your money, somebody else's money. And that's why we prefer to have this on the second phase. We enable the online payment. Phase 3, 20 restaurants, takeout and bento delivery. Then we started our delivery operation with our own drivers and more restaurants. I think in phase 3 we even have more restaurants. I believe so. Yeah. And marketing. Maybe some of you never heard about bento. And that's our marketing strategy actually, because we believe, because the island is so small, word of mouth here is really powerful, really, really powerful. And we don't need to spend a lot of money on marketing, because people will know at some point if it's a good product. The third thing here, reliable platform, it's a good product. The marketing, it's automatically. Like people will talk, hey, I ordered from Bento, they are faster, their app is better, their app is faster, their app it has a nice experience. We trusted on this and it's been great. And we don't spend much on marketing. We bought a few craft bags. They are all gone, thanks God. Yeah, and it's loading. It's loading. This is also user experience. I knew this video would take long to load. It's loading. I will get some water. Is this connected to the internet? Oh, it's not connected to the internet. That's why. A long time that I don't use the Windows. How can I connect? Use this thing. There. All right. I think. Oh, we are back. All right, we are. All right, video. Oh no. Yeah. Ah, sorry guys. Yeah. That's why you do releases in phase, right? We have the first part of the presentation. Now this is the second part. All right, work it. That was our first video. We shared a few, we made like a sponsored ad with this video because we found it was nice and cool. And that was in May. And recently, we have launched this bicycle operation. This is amazing. Like this, I'm really, really happy with this part because Cayman just makes sense to have a bicycle operation, and we, again, we take advantage because we own the code and we have the speed to change everything. And we made it. We made it feel chains to support this bicycle corporation, and it's been great. We started with one rider, then two, then third, then three, and then it's growing. And it works great. And it's a free marketing, you know, like some people are seeing our riders around, and it's cool. It's eco-friendly. This is the last one, business in Cayman. Paperwork. You need to, when you are opening a business here, be ready and be patient. It's a lot of paperwork. You need to have your business incorporated. There are a few law firms that can help you here. Then you can check it online and see what's the best for you. You also need a trading business license. I think right there in the wall, Wolf's Den have their trading business license. All business, they need this. It takes some time, and again, you need to be patient. You can check it online, all the steps to open a business here in Cayman. If you trade here, if you are doing like a CEC, you are not doing business actually here, you should be easier, I think. Having a merchant bank account, oh Lord. This is a nightmare. Cayman Islands is so behind opening a bank account here. This is really a challenge. Like, it took us literally 3 months to open a bank account. I can take a flight from here and, I don't know, go to the States or, not now, but, or Europe, open a bank account in a week. A merchant bank account is ridiculous, like taking that time to open a bank account. So, again, open a business here in Cayman, you need to be patient, okay? Important to mention, going in the right way, you own 40% of the company, and the rest goes for your Caymanian partner. It should have like emojis, but because it's Windows, it doesn't know the Unicode for emojis. And that's it. I will leave Q&A for when Bart finishes his presentation, and that's it.
Neri didn't mention this specifically. When we first met with Neri, and Neri shared this presentation in February, it was just 2 people, and now it's how many? Hello? Plus?
25.
25 people. Yeah. So it's difficult to imagine how quickly the company grew. And it started from testing a business idea. It was phase 0, would you say? Testing the ads and bringing people. So it was staged. If this would fail, so to say, probably it wouldn't get to phase 1. So let's jump to the second presentation of the evening. Thank you, Neri. Neri's product story was about testing a startup idea and executing on it. This presentation will be about testing business ideas in mature organization with established customer base and existing products and processes and so on. I'd assume most of us are familiar with the concept of MVP, which stands for minimum viable product. And it's iterative and incremental way of building products when you start with something small. Like in this example, you would start with skateboard instead of spending years trying to build a car. You are starting with something smaller, and then you launch it, and then you collect customer feedback. And you validate whether there is a demand for a product that helps you get from one place to another faster. And then you learn, you adapt, and you bring these learnings into the next stages. That's Scooter example. smoke testing starts before that. So it's cheaper because you don't need to build a product to collect feedback coming from customers. And at least in theory, this way of testing business ideas helps you do it cheaply. You still need to spend some time because you need to build a vehicle for collecting customer feedback. But more importantly, this way of testing helps you to understand whether people would pay for your product. Instead of asking people, hey, if I have this new thing, like, would you buy? People are usually leaning towards yes, saying, yes, I would buy, because it doesn't require any commitment. And smoke testing creates a situation where the product exists, and yet it requires a commitment from a customer to get a product in one way or another. It can be just by asking customer to leave an email address. That's an effort, pressure testing, some effort. Or asking for money. Not necessarily collecting money, but some platforms, they do it like that. For example, Kickstarter is a living collection of MVP ideas competing for your attention. So now let's focus on case study we did with Uni Registry. And the company at the time underwent interesting evolution. It originated as domain investor focused organization, serving needs of domain investors with thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes even 100,000 domains in their portfolios. But we did notice that from some time, a customer of a company was more often an owner of individual domain. And at this time, the ratio between the core audience and the new type of customer was 30-1. So revenue-wise, the core audience would still contribute muchly to the organization, but there was this new type of customer that we wanted to understand. So we selected 3 ideas to test. One of them was a very simple one-page website builder that was already existing within our mobile application, but it was deeply hidden. It was feature of this application. It wasn't standalone product. You would have to go through a number of screens to get to the product. Second idea was more advanced website builder, and interestingly, this product was a white label option. So it didn't exist within our platform, but there was a company that was willing to work with us. So we asked them, hey, can we test whether people would be willing to buy your product through our platform? And then third idea is the most interesting one. Web performance analytics. It was taken directly from investor pitch deck. And there was a friendly company in Belgium, CEO company. They were fundraising. They were trying to get some money to their idea. And since their idea was within the range of interest of our new customer group, as we believed, we asked them, hey, can we use your idea and create a content wrapper in text and imagery to present it as a working solution, and then you would also learn something, and perhaps your investors would appreciate, because this could help you validate this idea, so it wouldn't be just slides, but you would have some customer input. So we went with that. And the team was quite small. Full stack developer Kirk that visited us today, very talented product designer. She mostly handled the layouts and content and helped to create pages for those products, and myself, a product manager. Also important, and that's the difference between a large organization and a startup, when people can connect very quickly within a startup. We also had to sell the project, and in order to do that, we nicknamed it and crafted the name Tinder, Project Tinder, for 2 reasons. One reason, Tinder is get to know another person. We wanted to get to know our customers, and this project actually was a very small piece of a larger customer discovery project we were running across entire organization. So we came up with visual identification. So the second reason was to make people ask questions about it. hey, what is this project Tinder? What is it about? Because this way of thinking about testing and building products was a new way of doing things. So we wanted to make sure not only that in isolation we will test a business idea, but also that people will learn and understand, and then this way of doing things will adapt wider within organizations. So we had to be sexy. 3 landing pages were created for every product, and again, this is very important. Every idea was on a different level. The idea for simple website builder was a feature, so we threw out, we added new features to it, and we presented it within a landing page. The same for white label solution. This was easier because the content already existed. So what we had to do, we had to ask the, this is really not working very well. I think the battery is running out. And then,
Hello?
Thank you. And third landing page was this presentation. So only a few lines that we took from the presentation, and we had to come up with our own images. We applied the same template.
Okay, hopefully this one will work a bit better.
Yep. That's the. So on the top we had an overview with a description for every product. Then was pricing, where people could choose either monthly or yearly prices and commit. Benefits, key for value adds for every product, and then we had feature descriptions with images and more details. At the bottom, there was links to other pages, and this is also important. We didn't want to test how every landing page converted, but we wanted to create opportunity where people would get to know all of the products. So on the below, there were links to other landing pages. And it took us around 30 days to do the entire project, and that was the requirement so that we are lean and agile, and we can collect the data and analyze it within 30 days. It took a bit longer to build the landing pages. So how we did it? When a customer of a platform purchased a domain, on the last step there was a receipt. So we did insert 3 elements, and they were pitching every product. So it was like a teaser, and mind you, those were real customers, paying customers. So we would tell them, hey, you purchased this domain, maybe you want to make a better use of it, try out one of those 3 products. So then customer would choose one product, she would be directed to the landing page, and then she could do things, either, well, actually 3, leave the landing page, commit to a pricing, or get to know another product through the links below. So let's say that a customer wants to pay for the product. On the step 3, we will display a cart with 2 options, monthly or yearly option. And on the next cart, cart steps, we would say, oops, sorry, this is beta product, does not exist. 2 points. First, it was really difficult to pull that internally, because there was a lot of concern within customer success teams that customers will bombard us with emails, with hate messages. Nothing like that actually happened, but it took some diplomacy and negotiation internally to make this flow. Some I've heard described as pretty aggressive way of testing. Secondly, we knew that if customer reached to step 4, the chances were 90% that customer will buy. because we could compare from different products, and the cart steps were generic. So through applying analytics, we could compare that people usually don't go that far not to buy. Lastly, this is not a website entirely. This is embedded survey. So this is not a card, but this is SurveyMonkey embedded. And this was to make it less effort for us to collect. So we knew that at this point most people will leave, but we also wanted to leave opportunity to learn something of a qualitative nature, to collect customer feedback. So we asked them, hey, you've reached so far, maybe you tell us which value add from a product you find the most useful to you. And we tested top 4 for every product out there. Okay, what of it? So first, what we've learned through instrumentation and analytics is that people weren't interested in performance analytics. That's easy conclusion to make. That's the third column on the bottom. But what was interesting is that split between customers interested in single page builder and advanced builder was equal. The insight came from the middle part of this slide. It means that half of people that added product to cart, being one-page builder, on one of previous steps, they would see advanced website builder, which means that someone, after domain purchase, would go to advanced website builder because the description sounds like a good fit, and then she would explore further. She would learn about one-page building, and eventually this product would be added to cart. So this told us that there is a real appetite for simple website building product. Interestingly, there were some product with yearly plan or plans for hundreds of dollars. That was one of the most surprising lessons here, because we didn't offer any free trial version. This was based on trust and on description from landing pages, and there were people that committed to yearly plans. That was very surprising. So then, when we take a bit different look at the conversion rates and customer journey funnels and aggregate all of the sales, we see that by volume, one-page builder was the most interesting option. And these results had to be linked with company strategic direction. And the direction was that we want to invest in a volume of customers rather than increase cart size. One of the reasons for that is once you have a customer, it's easier for you to cross-sell to a customer. We also got some good insights coming from survey. And what we've learned initially surprised us. The winning option, which is a very simple website builder, offered a free domain. And we, primarily being domain-centric organization, we thought that when we give people free domain on top of domain website building product, this will be a really good benefit to customers. And we were surprised because when people had to choose only one option and then pick one option that wasn't valuable to them, free domain did not bring value. And then it helped us to understand that this group of customers is different. Those are small businesses. And they sign up for those type of products because they want to make more business through them. So for them, it's important to look professional so that they can capture new business through their website. That was very interesting for us to learn. So what eventually resulted from this project was we got funding and resourcing to build standalone product. In lean startup terminology, this is called zoom in pivot. When you take a feature of an application, of a product, and you make it your core offering. Instagram, before it became Instagram, was an app called Bourbon that offered check-ins and photo sharing and some other also scheduling options. But creators discovered that the most interesting feature, the most exciting to customers was photo sharing. The core features that Bourbon offered wasn't that interesting. So they did exactly this. They took this customer insight and they launched Instagram that had this one key feature as a core offering. And then in 2012, I believe they were acquired by Facebook for $1 billion. So we went with similar approach. This is how the app looked like as the standalone product. So it wasn't a feature of mobile app anymore. It was split from mobile, and even within the mobile application, it started function as standalone product, but there was also parity between web desktop client. So our customers could now go to website and buy this product. And I recall after it launched, it was one of the most adapted new products in company history by size and volume of customers. So it picked up really well. Smoke testing or lean product validation is not one tool, it's rather a spectrum of opportunities out there. So smoke testing is sometimes referred to as a fake landing test, a fake landing page test. When you don't have a product. Then there is crowdfunding, like Kickstarter. You try to raise money for which you will build product, or at least have some valuable customer insight you can bring to your investors and pitch your idea. Concierge, when you do every feature manually, and I believe Zappos have been created like that, and this manual way of delivering service helps you to generate business ideas and learn more about your customers. Wizard of Oz, you can think about it as a person sitting in ATM machine and handing you banknotes. So there is no automation, it's just person. And single feature product, something that Neri started from. But as you can see, there are other ways, faster, cheaper, but there is always a trade-off between how good of a quality insights there will be and cost of executing of those different ways. So that pretty much concludes history of the project Tinder. This was really a quick walkthrough the project. There was more caveats to it, but this creates good opportunity to ask questions for both presentations, Neri Bento and Project Tinder. Thank you. Yes, are there any questions?
Question more for the smoke testing. Both you guys did that. That kind of made me worry a little bit because I would think if you would get customers excited about a product that doesn't exist, and that you have to wait the time it takes to develop at least up to phase 1, wouldn't people just be worried that they will lose those excited customers over that time?
It is a possibility, yes. One of the values of creating such a customer list is also when you actually get to a phase of launching product, you can use it as a marketing list. And you can get back to those customers and tell them, hey, we've actually launched. And of course, some customers will want to have access to product faster, so they will probably go Google an alternative. But even so, a portion of them will stay, and it's also easier to get feedback for further iterations because, as Neri mentioned before, they are more understanding. So they are early adopters, committed, they provide good quality feedback, they are more willing to spend more time with you than other people. So there are multiple values from that. But yes, of course, some of them may migrate to other products. Yeah, just drop.
And also, I think as a entrepreneur, you have to be a risk taker, you know? Like, yeah, you might try to release something that doesn't exist, but it might take longer than what you were expecting. But if people drop it, they drop it. Well, what are we gonna do? We took the risk, and that's about it being trying a new idea, right?
Questions, comments?
Yeah, I was curious. You talked about Project Tinder and coming up with a name for the project, something that incite like curiosity. So, what was the thought process behind Bento and coming up with a name and the branding? Like, kind of how did you go about that?
All right. So why we choose the name Bento? It's 2 syllables. It's easy to pronounce. It works in many languages, right? Portuguese, Spanish, English, you name it. Like it's pretty simple, and it's a Japanese term for food in a box. It also means convenient, like bento boxes and stuff like that, you know. And that's why we have the Benny bag. It was inspired by the bag, the box, you know. Yeah, that was bento. Yeah, and yeah.
Now I'm curious, how long did it take for you guys to brainstorm this?
I don't know. Yeah, I would say brainstorming this took us a month, less than a month, something like that, like to put it together, the basic piece of it. Because when we started growing and growing in features, we were like, oh, yeah, we need to rethink about this flow, this workflow that we thought, because it's not working out. So we changed it a few times, but the branding, uh, the user experience, it was one of the first things we did. We were like, okay, we want this user experience, and then I start coding and doing the UI and working with the designer, and it took like a month to put all the experience together. But to code took like maybe September, 5 months, something like that, until I feel comfortable to release. Yeah.
And did you go with any formal process for brainstorming name for the project?
Not really. No. Yeah, yeah, that was about it. Yeah. We were like, okay, bento, that's it. Yeah, let's go with bento, and it's been like that for since we started.
I'd like to know if you have like a patent for your brand and logo here on the island, or I don't know, if someone could copy this and steal from your, yeah, and also for the code, yeah.
That's a tough one. If you are, I mean, I didn't mention our competition here because at the time when I created this presentation, they didn't exist, right? And yes, we do have a few documents that protect us, like a patent and name of the company and stuff like that. But in the end of the day, apps can be copied. Like, not just because I had this idea of creating this red button, whatever there. This doesn't prevent someone to just copy it. If you open LinkedIn today, they have the Instagram stories there. What are they gonna do? It works like that. We make fun of it. Like our competition, we call them "Let's Copy" because they are copying us in a really cheap way. If you guys have both apps, you can see even things that I hate in our app, like the filter, is the same icon, the ugly one. And when it brings all the filters, it's exactly the same UI. I mean, I feel proud to be an inspiration for other companies. That's what I think.
So a common problem that companies of any size have is knowing how to scale, within their parameters and correctly. And a lot of companies fail because they don't scale adequately. I'm curious about how. So in your process, when you scaled from 0 to
5 to 10, in terms of the technology, innovation of it. So when you were like, okay, now we're gonna have, just takeout orders and no delivery. You're expanding your code, you're expanding your product. And what you're selling, but you're expanding the actual app itself and the product. So when you were doing that, did you hire extra developers? Did you hire additional designers? Did you do that before? Did you do that after, when you spent a lot of late nights doing, increasing the product, and then you're like, dudes, help me out. Now I can sleep? Is that how did you guys scale?
This is a really good question, and my partner is here to share, make sure this is the truth. We always been thinking since the day zero how to scale this. How can we scale this platform? I really wish Bento was just an app. Really, I would be much less stressed. I would have much less work to do. My team would be much smaller, but because Bento it's a platform which we can scale, it's harder. But it's been in our mind since day zero how we scale this platform, right? And when I started looking at Uber Eats. They had like one version of one app to make menus, and it was pretty bad. It was bad, and I was watching some videos and checking how they operate. I was like, no, this is not scalable. And they released a second version of this app to make menus and create restaurants and items. And that second one makes sense because it's more scalable. And that was the one that I was inspired. I was like, this is the way to scale. The other one, we would have 100 restaurants and we would be screwed by the 101 for sure. So because the way that we designed our system at the beginning, we were fortunate to scale as we go. We need more restaurants. Okay. We have the tools to make it. And the way that I coded, it was, it make us able to scale, grow. If we want to go to, I don't know, Aruba, we can go. Portugal, we can go. Just change time zone, and that's it. Yeah, so scale is also important when you are thinking in a product. We have a few friends who wants to open a business and stuff like, but I want to be small and blah, blah, blah. Man, you never know. You never know. You need to think, how can I expand this business? Not that you're going to expand, but you got to be ready, right? At least, you know, some parts of your business.
So I actually have a really similar question. So the way Bento came about, it kind of came to market so smoothly, and it felt like the business plan was really tight because it just appeared everywhere all of a sudden. So in all of that really rapid growth, did you ever have any kind of make or break moments? And it was like, kind of, we have to do something now or it's all going to collapse. And then, like, if so, how did you come about it, changing it and fixing it?
Sorry, I don't know if I got your question right. Like, when we got in this point of like marketing the product more, what do you mean? Oh, yeah. So that's the thing. Why we are not marketing that much? Because we never seen the roof. We are just growing. So that's what it's personal thing, okay? My partners, they kind of agree with me. They kind of disagree as well, but that's the way I see. If I cannot see the roof, man, let's keep doing the same thing. Then once we start seeing the roof, okay, then we think about a different marketing strategy or building something else. We came out with another idea, but so far, the app is working good. We have a reliable platform, and I don't code that much, which is a good thing. So the product is working well. But like I said, once we see the roof, then we can think about another strategy. But at the moment, we are good.
I think this would be called premature scaling, and this organic growth also enables you to learn, and you don't feel that much pressure, and you are not throwing money into something that's not perfected. So, as you said, growth phase comes as next stage.
And also, the thing is, you when you see your first month, you are not 100% sure how it's going to be the next month and the third month. It's hard. You need to control anxiety, like need to wait. But after we've been running this operation since February, March, something like that, now I feel comfortable. It's fine. Yeah, business is doing well. We don't need to stress that much, and we don't need to be like really aggressive with marketing and sending a spam to your door and be always in your face. And man, we're gonna get hungry every day. You think about us for sure. Questions?
So my question is more about before scaling, right? So when you guys went through phase one, you needed some sort of delivery, right? Someone has to go to the restaurant and bring the food to the first customers, right? How, so you did mention you did like 5 restaurants. What was the logic of, or what was the thought process of what those restaurants would be? I would imagine it would have to be restaurants within close proximity, so it could be easy to pick up and deliver, easy to give good service where you can. But was there any like special challenges you had with how you can deliver the service to the first customers? I think it's EAP customers. What is it? What? Early access program. Okay, early access program.
Wow. At the beginning was really tough to convince restaurants here that we are a technology company that want to help you grow your business. No one will trust in a guy with a sideshow bob hair, trying to explain a technology app to deliver food here in the island. It was tough, and we didn't have we couldn't pick a restaurant. I want this one because I love their food and they sell a lot. No, we were like, hey, here's our product. We went door by door, asking restaurants around and explaining the product, how we operate. This is the opportunity, and that was it. We were not picking restaurants, and because we don't have we never had any relationship with restaurants at the beginning. Like we didn't know. We didn't know the owners. We didn't know the managers. We didn't know how they operate. So our network with restaurants was closer to none. So we couldn't pick restaurants. We were more like make it work with one, and then this one will talk to another one, and it's being like that, and we pay. We are paying their bills as well, so I think we are helping. They are helping us. It's a good environment, I think. This partnership with restaurants and bento.
What are some of the reasons why restaurants would choose bento over alternative ways of delivering food service on the island?
Because we pay on time. We promise that we pay on time. We don't overcharge. Our fees are reasonable. I don't know if you guys know this book, but there's a book called It Doesn't Need to Be Crazy at Work from a guy from boot camp, and he says that, man, as long as my company is profitable, I'm fine. You don't need to be super greed, and especially on this business. There are some restaurants that they need the money every week. You cannot hold this money for 6 months, right? And being profitable, it's fine. It pays all the bills. We make some profit. We pay all the salaries. We pay light. We pay insurance. We pay pension. We make profit. It's not a huge amount of profit, but it's still profit, man. It's fine, So I think this is the main difference, I would say. We are not too aggressive with margins and quality of the product, I think, as well. Like the user experience, it goes beyond of the customer buying a food. We also think when they receive the order in their device here, it's important for them to have a good experience, fast. It's food. It's hungry people. You need to check the order, accept, boom, driver's arriving, food is here, next. So this also brings value to the platform.
To your point on the user experience, I believe you can pay through Bento app for order. Was it difficult to include this payment component into the application? And if so, why was it difficult in Cayman?
It was hard to believe actually that the island is so far behind on making online payments. That was the biggest thing. Like I couldn't believe. Like I was like, really, I will have to do this way. Implementing a gateway of payment here in the island was kind of painful. Waiting for the bank was painful, and it's expensive. It's not cheap. It should be cheap, but it's not. It's not, and the way to implement this thing, the way that I wanted to implement in our app, because if you go to Bento today and add your card, I'm not taking you to a third-party place where you're gonna add your credit card stuff. No, it's everything in the app. I'm using an API to tokenize your credit card. I don't store any data like that. But in order to make this work, the technology we have today here in the island, it's painful. It's just old. It's not developer friendly comparing to other stuff like Square in the States or even PayPal or another good gateway. Anyway, you got the idea, right? So that was the painful online payment part of Bento, and I don't touch that part anymore, which is a good thing. It's just working. But yeah.
Boring but important for business.
I wanted to ask about the actual development of the app. So did you use Ruby on Rails? Like, how did you get it, sorted out? Like, from the very beginning, were you really frustrated with, these bugs or those bugs? And how many errors do you still get right now? Or do you get any? And did you, when you started to kind of shift the focus of being a much larger audience, did you have, things that you were like, I should change this part of this code even though it's already, standard or something like that?
Well, being a mobile developer helps a lot because I'm familiar with the environment already. I have some experience building apps, properly apps, not like a web view or a reactive app, which reactive, for those who don't know, React Native, you can code one time and build for different platforms like the web or iOS and Android. But the experience is not quite there. There are some tech some tech parts of it that makes an app not run smoothly when it's native actually, like Bento. Bento is natively built, but mostly because I'm comfortable with that. I like to build native apps, and I found easier, and in the future it pays off because you don't spend much time fixing bugs, and the experience is good. The app is faster. The app is more reliable. Bugs, it happened. That's why I released it in 3 phases. First phase, let's go easy, a few people. And then there are some tools where you can track when there's a crash in the app. Or customer support also helps. Like having a customer support right away, it helps. Like people saying, hey, I'm trying to open this menu and it's not working. Then we can react. So it happens, but the phase release it's really important. We made a lot of mistakes at the beginning. On phase 2, we made other mistakes, but fixing the first mistakes. And today, we are just scaling. There isn't many bugs. My partners and also the people from the operation, they hate me because I like to do deploys on lunch times, on dinner time, but it works. It's fine. You know, I think we pick the right technology, which makes us make change quickly. And yeah, and always tracking on bugs if something's happening. I have a few things to fix. We have 4 apps, and I need to fix one thing on the Bento driver app. Soon come.
How large is your development department?
Yeah, I wish it was bigger, but today it's just me. I do maintenance on my spare time. Yeah, it's not really complicated, guys. It's about working. You work, you grow a little bit more, and next day you grow a little bit more and more and more, and then 6 months later, oh my God, I did a Uber Eats app. Jeez. But yeah, it's pretty much like that, and we are still growing. We have so many ideas to implement. I wish my day had like 36 hours. It would be great. Then I would have the time to build whatever I had in my mind, and my partners as well. They are super smart. They are crazy people as well, and we want to grow more. We want to implement more crazy things. We're just starting. More.
I have one question to the audience right after you.
Sorry. For Bento, what would you say was your biggest into getting this done and being a successful business?
People. 100% people. Finding the right people. Making the team more like professional team. Believing that Bento, it's a company. It's not just like idea that I had. It's an app there. You deliver food here and there. That's fine. No, it's a company. And finding the right people to work professionally and believe in a company, because we are a new company here. That was the biggest challenge, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I think that answers the question, right?
So I have a question to the audience. Who is working on similar projects? Be that startup or larger organization? Just curious. All right, 2 people, 2.5, 3, 4. Okay, so it's a crowd. If you'd be willing to share your experiences in a similar type of event, let's chat during networking session, because this is awesome. This is entrepreneurial spirit coming through the island, and then I'm sure that you have lots of things that other people can benefit, so it would be beneficial to share and expose those learnings.
Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause. Awesome. I definitely learned a lot, so thank you so much for taking part and sharing your knowledge. An order from Bento. Tip the drivers and tip your bartenders. But yes, thank you all for coming. Once again, I want to quickly thank our sponsors, Cayman Tech City, which is a special economic zone by Cayman Enterprise City, and Digital Cayman. If you haven't registered your interest for Digital Cayman, make sure you check out the website. It's just digitalcayman.com. And thank you to Kirk ISS for our tech support today. It's been amazing. Our next event is the 10th of December, and it's going to be over at the Outpost. So mark your calendars. We're going to be doing our last event of the year, so make sure you come along and network and share your ideas. So once again, thank you again. Really appreciate it, and continue to network after the event.